People Go by Tilda Bowlesley, illustrated by Eileen Richard. A burning bush, and it began. As God told Moses, here's my plan. But Moses was a simple man. I just don't think I can. Poor Moses. God wouldn't hear the answer no, and said, with Aaron you will go to lead my people from Pharaoh. Tell him that your God said so. So Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh, our God says, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A big mistake, he didn't know that God would deal a mighty blow. A plague, a plague, a plague. Egyptians to the Pharaoh said, their God has turned our water red. No more fish, they're all gone. Where's some water we can drink? We cannot stand this stink. P.U. Then Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Frogs were Pharaoh's next nightmare. He cried, they're hopping everywhere. Tell God to send the frogs away. Then you can go without delay. They're in my oven, in my head. I think a frog jumped on my head. So Moses prayed, and the frogs were gone. Then Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. And Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. God spread the ground with nasty flies, but Pharaoh answered only lies. I'll let your people leave this place. Just get these flies out of my face. When Moses said, it's done, we'll go, Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Soon the animals got sick. Egyptians pleaded, hear our cry. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, why? But Pharaoh still would not comply. Then Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Egyptians moaned and cried in dread to see their skin turn purpley red, and nasty boils began to spread, but Pharaoh was an old hard head. When Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh, our God says, let my people go. Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. God continued the campaign with hail and thunder and mighty rain. There'd never been a worse event. It looked like Pharaoh might relent. When it spoke to mean Pharaoh, our God says, let my people go. Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Now God sent down a new command, and Moses with his outstretched hand sent hungry locusts through the land. Said Pharaoh, this I cannot stand. Leave Egypt now as you have planned. When the people packed to go, Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Then Egypt had 3 days of night where Israelites enjoyed God's light. So Pharaoh, tired of the fight, said, wives and children all can go. You cannot take your livestock though. He really didn't mean it so. He soon was shouting, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. God through Moses said, beware, this plague is bad beyond compare. Every firstborn son, from royal born to the poorest one. But sons of Israel I will spare, so listen now, you must prepare. And as God struck this final blow, Pharaoh shouted, go, go, go. The end.